to the bucket. Layup, Johnson, good!
All right, welcome everybody. Happy holidays, but Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody out there. Hard to believe. It's hard for me to even say that. That's how fast these years go. That's how fast time goes. Didn't we just start not long ago? We'll have a little year in review coming up in this hour of sports, not only Louisiana, but affected the nation. We'll talk about that coming up. A couple of other things going on. We're talking Saints football. We will not be talking LSU football except for the year in review. We'll talk Southern. I just got back from a company picnic there at Southern University, so I was there for that. Got a chance to talk to Marshall just a little bit, Marshall Falk, talk to Fred McNair a little bit. Fred McNair staying on. That looks good. They should be announcing the rest of their coaching staff coming up soon. His salary was just announced. I don't know if everyone saw that. He'll make $400,000 a year plus guaranteed money to pay his staff. Now, he came to this. He didn't want to make a lot of money on this. He said he had money already. He didn't need to come here breaking the bank or anything like that. So that's what the deal is with that. All right, now let's get into the New Orleans Saints. They're making money. The Saints have won 3 out of their last 5 games and 2 in a row. Now, is that optimism? I think a little bit. You can grow on that. Now, obviously, we got a long way to go before the end of the season. Before next season. But at least you can grow on that just a little bit. Even though I thought Dennis Allen was doing a good job in his second year, but you could see that's a little different deal. You could see he lost the locker room. And that Atlanta Falcon game, he lost the locker room. There's no doubt because he called for them to kneel on the ball. They purposely scored the touchdown. That means they lost the locker room. And it just went downhill from there. I had said that. Mickey Loomis denied it. Everybody denied it. But I seen at that point, I knew that he lost the locker room, and that's what happened. All right, let's talk first defense. Still the strength of this team. They're now 11th in the NFL as far as total defense goes, but they struggled on third down this past weekend. That's the one thing. Now, of course, Carolina did beat the Rams, who is the number 1 seed in the playoffs. And they also, let's see, who else? It was a big one. Oh, Green Bay Packers. They beat the Green Bay Packers. So they've beaten some good teams. But the Saints have swept Carolina this year, who is now tied for the NFC South with Tampa Bay. And believe it or not, Carolina plays Tampa Bay 2 times before the end of the year, starting this week and the last game of the year. It's kind of crazy. The Panthers were 7 for 14 on third down conversions and didn't have the punts until the last 2 possessions of the game. That's the next time they punted. The only time they punted, rather. That sounded like the old Saints defense. They didn't force 1 turnover, which was a fumble in this game. Demario Davis, still unbelievable. 5 tackles in this football game. 5 tackles. Wasn't the leader, but only by 1 off. Chase Young, Sanker, and Bullard all had 6 tackles in this game. As I mentioned, the Saints are 11th in total defense in the National Football League. They're 24th in sacks. That's something I'd like to see better. Chase leads the team with 6.5 sacks, and also Cam Jordan has 6 sacks right behind him. I'd like to see them be able to put more pressure on that quarterback because, like on third down and longs, like they did in this game, quarterbacks can pick you apart. College quarterbacks can pick you apart a little bit, but in pros, I don't care if he's a second or third stringer, if you're a pro quarterback, you're good enough to make this league. If you don't put pressure on him, he can pick you apart. And that's what happened in this game. Too much time to throw the football. They got to get after him. They're 19th in points per game, the Saints are. They're 6th against the rush. That's their strength, against the run. You're not running against the Saints. And they're 26th versus the pass. So that's got to improve as well. 6 against the rush, but 26 against the pass. And also 19th in giving up points per ball game. Demario Davis, still leads the team with 123 tackles. 123 tackles. And, Jonathan, you know the second best tackler on the football team?
Not off the top of my head. Who is it?
Pete Warner,
Oh, there you go.
51 below. Demario Davis has 51 more tackles than Pete Warner. DeMario Davis is unbelievable. He has 123 total. Last year he had 136, which is his most ever in his career, and he's only 13 away from it in 3 games left. I mean, how do you not sign that? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what kind of money he's going to be wanting, but you kind of almost want to sign that guy. Now, again, you're going for the rebuild, and they're going to be $16 million under the salary cap next year. 16 over the salary cap. So I don't know how that's going to work out, but this guy is still earning his paycheck. So in all of the years that he's done it, he's played 14 seasons. 11 out of 14, he's gotten over 100 tackles. 11 out of 14. That's crazy. That is crazy. That guy is just, he's a different breed, and he's 35 years old. He's 35. Cam Jordan's 35, about to be 36. Taysom Hill, 35. Now, I already know for 2 of them, and we'll have that later on, probably next year. We'll talk about what the Saints should do. But if I'm general manager, I'm head the coach, 1, Cam Jordan is gone. He is second. Next year he's going to count to $18 million in the salary cap. I'd have to let him go because he has six sacks this year, and the last 2 seasons before that he had 6. He has 12 sacks in 3 years. That's not worth $18 million a year. And if I have to say, I'd have to say that Cam Jordan would have to go. Probably a June 1st, cut. Okay, after June 1st cut. Taysom Hill would be another one I'd have to let go. And I love Taysom Hill to death. I always defended Taysom Hill. But the problem with Taysom Hill, he's not touching the ball, and he's like 3rd or 4th as far as salary cap goes. Okay, that's, and I mean, he's a free agent anyway. Him and DeMario Davis's contract comes to an end. So they probably won't re-sign Taysom Hill. But somebody probably will pick him up, I would think. I don't know if he's done as far as his career goes or he's just slower because of the fact with that injury. He's not totally back again. ACL, about a year it takes you to get back to it. And even then, trust me, because I know, it's a mind thing. It's a mind thing. I've been through it. It's a mind thing. You don't want to go through all that again. And you try not to do the same things you've done before. The Saints' offense is getting better and better, but they're still not putting 2 halves together. But Shuck is the talk of the NFL. And I was talking to a guy. I went and watched a football game with a friend of mine, and another guy was there, and he was saying, it's not Shuck, is it? Yeah. They talk about us Coonasses being bad. How in the hell do you get Shuck out of S-H-O-U-G-H? How you get Shuck out of that? I don't know, but it's Shuck. Like you're shucking corn. But anyway, so he's the talk of the NFL. Now, believe it or not, he has 6 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 1,484 yards and 67% completion rate. That's exactly what Rattler is, but there's a difference. Rattler's only won 1 game. Oh, yeah, 1 game as a starter. He's 2-3. Shuck is 2-3 as a starter. He runs fast. A lot of opposing players do not believe that he runs as fast as he looks on film. They're shocked. The call up the middle, the second to last play of the game, was brilliant. Was a brilliant call because he runs up the middle, has time to down it, but at the same time, he gets hit for a 15-yard penalty because he got hit while he was sliding down. That was a brilliant call. And then they brought Rattler in, and I started getting nervous. I said, oh, boy, he's going to throw an interception or fumble the football, but he threw the ball out of bounds. So why would you do that? Take some time off the clock, but again, if he gets sacked, it's trouble because a 37-yard field goal now turns into a longer one. And you're giving it to a kicker that hadn't proved himself much yet. But, again, you have to be careful with that, no question. Takes too many risks a little bit by throwing the ball to an open receiver when he sees it, but sometimes it's too late, and you've got a DB that's looking over it, and he's going to intercept the ball. Had a couple of passes that was knocked down that could have been intercepted this week. And still holds on to the ball too long. Those are things he's going to get, especially as a quarterback. The more and more he plays, the better and better he should get. playing is the best medicine to play in football. You can go and practice and get your timing down and everything is great. I used to never be good in practice, ever. But when it comes to playing in a game, that's the best experience you're going to get because you're going to give it 110% every time. In practice, like Allen Iverson used to say, practice, y'all. 0 turnovers this week. Not fumbling, not throwing interceptions. That's good. Saints lose another running back. Devin Neal scored a touchdown and then pulled a hamstring at that time, and he's done for the year. Hamstrings are, depending on what grade that hamstring is, and the Saints haven't let us know yet, but basically bottom line is you get a tear in the hamstring, you're not going to be ready in 3 weeks. I can tell you that right now. It ain't going to happen. I doubt you'll see Neal for the rest of the year. Saints down to 2 running backs now. And then, of course, you got Taysom Hill down to 2 running backs. Last 3 games of the season, at home against the Jets. The last game of the Dome is this Sunday, 12 noon kickoff time. Then they go to Tennessee to play against the Titans. And then they go to Atlanta. That game is still a flex game. I don't know if they've announced it yet, but I know as of yesterday they did not. It's going to be a Sunday game at 12 noon more than likely. Atlanta's out of the playoffs. The Saints are out of the playoffs. So more than likely it'll be a 12 noon game at Atlanta at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. All right, your thoughts, Jonathan, on the New Orleans Saints winning their 4th game. They're now 4-10 on the year.
Yeah, congratulations to Kellen Morgan, a big win at home against a divisional opponent who's actually playing for the playoffs. You're pretty much a lame duck team just trying to get through the season, but your team absolutely fought until the end. And kudos to Tyler Shuck. I mean, the kid continues to have great pocket poise, live arm for sure. Sometimes he does stare at a receiver, but fortunately for him, he was staring at Chris Olave most of the second half, especially in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
And Chris Olave kept coming up with catches on J.C. Horn, who's a very talented cornerback. So, the Panthers had something to play for. The Buccaneers had something to play for, and the Saints just wanted to really ruin their seasons and beat them both back-to-back weeks. Earlier in the year, I would have gave Kellen Moore a solid C on how he handled the roster and his play calling and the development of the situation for the Saints being in dead money, the whole deal. After these last couple of weeks, you have to bump up that letter grade at least 1 full, up to a B, B minus. Play calling during tempo. They're trying to speed up the defense, keep the defensive substitute, and I think Tyler Shuck has handled that very well. And give kudos to Kellen Moore. You can talk to him all until 15 seconds before the play clock runs out. So he's letting him know exactly what the call on audible or what the check down is, and has managed his talents very well. This kid has a great arm. He's athletic. He can move out the pocket. He's had trouble setting up the play action. That's because the Saints really have struggled having a healthy running back. And if you win a game against a divisional opponent without Alvin Kamara, with only having Devin Neal get 34 yards before he goes down, you got to give credit to the defense.
Yep.
You mentioned Mario Davis. You mentioned Cam Jordan. This has been Cam's best season by far in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
I think after the game, obviously they were all excited for Charlie Smith. They were treating Charlie in the locker room, but all of those guys were fired up. Like they just won a playoff game.
Right.
And truly, I think that's a testament to Kellen Moore, getting them to buy in, getting them to stay focused. It's certainly a long checklist of what you need to replace, what you need to fill in, holes on both sides of the ball and on special teams. But there is some optimism right now behind Kellen Moore to scratch these wins against teams that are actually playing for playoff spots. It does mean something to get a win at home. And I was just happy to see Charlie Smith, kick the game winner. A guy from Dublin, Ireland. They tried to give him a game ball, let him have a speech in the locker room after. Nobody could understand what he was talking about. I thought that was great. So, yeah, there is a lot of optimism right now. Of course, you mentioned Taysom Hill, Demario Davis. How much more football do they want to play out of those guys you mentioned, including Cam Jordan? The only person that I would truly try to work out a deal for would be Demario Davis.
Yeah.
No doubtedly the leader of that defense and the leader in the locker room. A great man, but he's got a bunch of kids. A great life. He's a man of faith. I don't know how much more football he truly needs. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this offseason.
Yeah, no question. And you mentioned – so I was going to mention 3 players that I thought have improved by the Saints, but Cam Jordan has improved. He's the 4th. Because, again, I think it was the last 2 years he got 6 total sacks. This year alone he's got 6 sacks.
Yep.
So that's pretty impressive. But also, 2, I think – Chris Olave has improved.
Yep.
He dropped that one ball that one time because he hadn't been really targeted a lot. The second one I think has improved is Juwan Johnson, the tight end. He's not dropping balls anymore. And another one that has improved is Chase Young.
Yeah.
Number 99. Now, he leads the team in sacks at 6.5. It's still not a lot where I need him to be.
He could have had more. He was close on a few more.
Yeah, but he's playing a lot better. He got a big sack in that game.
Yep.
You saw him just throw him down. But, I mean, all in all, like I said, I think those three have improved, and I'll do give Cam Jordan. But, again, as much as Cam Jordan is being paid, I think it counts as $18 million to the salary cap next year. I can't justify him getting paid that much for 6 sacks.
And one more credit to Kellen Moore. They actually hit on this draft class. Some of these rookies are playing really good football. Quincy Riley, Danny Stutzman, Calvin Banks, just to name a few. Jonas Sanker, who's had a good year at that safety spot, filling in for Tyrann Mathieu. This is a good rookie class. Finally, the Saints will be able to get max value out of a rookie contract and hopefully have these young guys truly contribute next year towards a playoff run.
Yeah, and they've got 8 picks coming up. In the draft, 8 picks coming up in the draft, so they'll immediately begin working on that. I'm like you. I do think there's on both sides of the ball that needs to be improved. I think offensive line, they need to build depth at that offensive line. I think we need a little bit more receivers. I'm beginning to like Vale from Denver, the Denver trade. I also like Olave. I want at least 1 or 2 more receivers. I need a it looks like Chris Olave should be a possession receiver if he holds on to the ball. But we need a deep burner again. We just traded one away to Seattle, but in Shaheed. But I think I need another 1 or 2 good wide receivers and also tight end. I need another tight end, even maybe better than the Jawan Johnson. I need another tight end. Again, like I mentioned, offensive line. I don't know if I'd bring in a free agent quarterback still to give Shuck and them a little push under there. I don't know who they would be available or what have you. But, again, also you got to look again. The Saints are kicking the can down the road with Mickey Loomis' style for a long, long time. They're going to be in dead – they're number 1 in dead money next year. They're number 1 in dead money. If I want to say, I think it's $89 million in dead money.
It's something like that, yep.
It just alone. That's too much. That's way too much. And the kicking the can down the road, eventually you're going to have to pay the piper. And right now you're having to pay the piper. And that's got to get out. That dead money crap has got to go. So – all in all, and I think on defense, we got to put more pressure on the quarterback. We're playing good against the run, but we got to put – Granderson had a great year last year, so we signed him in a new contract. He's not having the same year. So I'd like to see him get a little bit better, no question. Defensive line are plugging the holes against the run. They're doing a great job. Pete Warner, like I said, is second in tackling. Demario Davis, I'd keep him. Your DB now again, like you said, same thing with DBs. Right now, they're not very good against. They're 26 in the pass against the pass. That needs to improve as well, and mainly because Jonathan, they're not putting enough pressure on the quarterback.
Yep,
that's the key. Again, you're going to get picked apart. You play like a Stafford, like they did. You play a good, experienced quarterback. He will pick you apart if you're not putting any pressure on him.
Yep.
So that's the key, I think, right there. Speaking of the NFL, playoffs are going to be happening. I'm excited for the playoffs. Since the no call with the Saints to the Rams, I very seldom watch any football outside the Saints. I'm beginning to watch a little bit more now. That's how long it's been. So we'll talk about the playoffs coming up, and we'll do that coming up as we continue talking sports with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan in the house, Marty's in the house, back after this time out right here on Pelican Sports TV.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fruget. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fruget today.
For a lot of people, going to the dentist brings anxiety. It can feel cold, rushed, even intimidating. We get it. That's why we built something different. We take the time, we listen, we know your name and your story because you're more than just a patient, you're family. You don't have to dread the dentist. You just need the right one. Call or visit FrugetFamilyDentistry.com to schedule.
Make a fun run to Livingston Parish now for a lot of events for the whole family at the Grand Country Junction off I-12 and Exit 19. Saturday, December 18th is the American Heritage Night featuring the Bible Tones from Ellisville, Mississippi. On Saturday, December 20th, it's the Christmas at the Junction featuring Jessica Horton of Columbus, Mississippi. Doors open at 5:30 and the show starts at 7 p.m. for every show. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for children, ages 4 through 12, as children 3 and under get in for free. All shows are backed by Danny Harrell and the Nashville Edition Band. The Grand Country Junction is located in Satsuma off I-12 and Exit 19. For more information, call Greg Sullivan at 985-507-9432. And for more information on events in Livingston Parish, visit livingstontourism.com. livingstontourism.com. Make a fun run to Livingston Parish today.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody, and Talking Sports with me, Chris Powers. NFL, going to be exciting playoffs because I think it's anybody's game. I really do. Let's take a look at the NFC first. Number one is the Los Angeles Rams. They're the number one seed. They lead a game over Chicago at number 2. I think the Rams are legitimate number one team. Are they guaranteed them to win the Super Bowl? No. But I do think that they are legitimate number one seed in the NFC. I think Chicago is a good 2 seed. However, I'm still not totally sold on them as far as being a dominant team that can win these games. Number 3 is the Eagles. They pretty much locked up that spot in the NFC East by winning the game this week and by the Dallas Cowboys losing. They have a 3-game lead over the Cowboys with 3 games left to play, which means if they end in a tie, Dallas wins. So Dallas is still eligible for the playoffs, but not this week. If Philadelphia wins, Dallas' season is over as far as playoffs go. They're done, and they need to be. So Eagles are the number 3 spot right now. And in the number 4 spot is Tampa Bay. They're tied with Carolina. And like I mentioned, they play Carolina twice now in the next 3 weeks. 2 times in 3 weeks. This Sunday and 2 Sundays, the last Sunday, which will be January the 4th, or 3rd, or 5th, depending on what they do, the flex schedule with that goes. But they're the last game of the year. Carolina takes on Tampa Bay, so it'll be interesting to see how that happens. Seattle is at number 5. They're good. They beat the snot out of the Saints because the Saints just messed up that game. But Seattle's still a good team. They're right there with the Rams in the NFC West, but I don't think they're going to win that. San Francisco, believe it or not, is number 6. So the West is probably going to get 3 teams in the playoffs. Green Bay is the 7th seed, which you thought it would be more than that, but the Green Bay Packers still have some work to do, no question about that. All right, so with that, still have a chance is Detroit at number 8, but they're barely hanging on. I think Detroit Super Bowl window is closing. That means their general manager's got to do something to get this thing going, because if not, it's going to be like the Saints. Their window was closing. I think Detroit's is closing pretty quick right now. They're not the same football team as they were in the last 2 years. Last year, remember, they're the number 1 seed, and they got beat in the first round of the playoffs. Carolina's still at number 9, and like I mentioned, Dallas is hanging on by a thread right now at the number 10 spot. So, again, going to be interesting to see what happens with that. How about Chicago leading in that North Division over Green Bay? I really thought Green Bay would be there. And like I said, they had a very good game against the Denver Broncos this week at Denver, but they lost. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. In the AFC, number 1 seed is the Denver Broncos. Now, my nephew's a big Denver Bronco fan. He didn't think that this team is Super Bowl ready yet. Close, but they are. And they're getting better as the time goes on. They've won 11 straight games, and they're going to win the AFC West. There's no question. They've clinched a playoff berth already with Sean Payton as head coach. And it's just sad how quickly he turned that program around. New England is number 2. They lost a very tough game this week. All right, and at home, too. At home to Buffalo. Big divisional game, but New England is the number 2 seed. They're a game behind Denver, really 2 games behind, because they have a not as good of a conference record as Denver does, and that's what keeps them number 1. Jacksonville, the Jaguars, number 3. Remember, they went down. They were up, and then he went down for, 1 or 2 years, but now they're back up again, and they're the number 3 spot. Pittsburgh hanging on number 4 spot. I think they'll get I think they'll lose the first round again. I really do. But they won last night over Miami, knocking the Dolphins out of the playoffs. They didn't deserve to be there anyway. But Pittsburgh is the number 4 seed right now. The Los Angeles Chargers could be a team to be watching. They're number 5 seed right now. Buffalo is number 6. Could this be the year that Buffalo wins and goes to the Super Bowl? Being at number 6 and they're not winning the NFC East? There's a possibility because they can score just like that. They were getting dominated by New England in the first half. And they came back in the second half like Josh Allen teams does and beat the New England Patriots in New England. This team is still there, not quite as good as they were maybe last year, or you're putting it together at the last moment. Houston is number 7 seed. I'm not worried about Houston at all either. I really am not. Indy is still in the hunt at number 8 and Baltimore at number 9. Those are the only 2 spots, only 2 teams that still have an opportunity to make the playoffs, but there are only 7 teams that make the playoffs in both AFC and NFC, and right now that's the way it is. I think it's anybody's game, but remember that Denver won Super Bowl 50. That was Peyton Manning's last game, and let's see, it was in San Francisco. Super Bowl 60, 10 years later, is in San Francisco. Kind of like LSU making the national title game in New Orleans at all times. So it'd be interesting to see if they can get back there. Jonathan, your thoughts about the NFL and the playoffs, the teams we just announced right there. What do you think? Who's your Super Bowl favorite right now?
Wow, my favorite, man. I'll tell you who I think is going to make the Super Bowl. I think from the AFC, it's going to be the Broncos and the Patriots going to square off in the AFC Championship. NFC, obviously, I'm not a huge Chicago Bear fan. I can't watch Caleb Williams play football.
Me neither.
Knowing what a goofball that kid is.
Painting his didn't you paint your fingernails at one time in your life, though? That look.
So,
he gave me that Archie Bunker look.
So I'm saying the Bears, they get bumped out in the first round. I was really high on the Eagles at the beginning of this season that they go back to back. Just the running game alone with that offensive line. Jalen Hurts hurts you with his legs, as well as having great receivers on the outside. But they've shown that they were beatable. I do think in the NFC it will come down to the Eagles and the Rams. Matt Stafford, you can't say enough about how he's played this year. Obviously, picking up Devontae Adams, put him alongside Puka Nacua, that has opened up a big part of that offense. Sean McVay, I believe, is one of the best play callers in the league. Their defense is tough. I think the Eagles do have enough star power to make it to the NFC Championship. I'm going to take the Rams from the NFC. Now, the AFC is tough for me, Chris, because if Sean Payton did go to the Super Bowl with the Broncos, he'd be the 3rd coach ever, I believe, don't quote me, to make it to the Super Bowl with 2 different franchises. And if he won,
he'd be the first to ever do that.
That's exactly right. He'd be the first to ever do that, Chris. And not that I don't want it for Sean Payton, but it would just hurt my heart as a Saints fan knowing that our coach is over there winning more Super Bowls.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you. Same thing. And one of those guys that did that took a different team to the Super Bowl was his predecessor. His predecessor.
Yeah.
His guy he looked up to.
So, right, Bill Parcells, Andy Reid, Don Shula. If there's another one, I can't recall it, but those 3 have all taken a different franchise to the Super Bowl, and none have won it in multiple. Sean Payton would be the first. And not that I don't want it for him, but it would sting a little bit.
I forgot about Shula, Miami and Colts.
Yep.
I forgot about Shula. Good job, Jonathan. I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that. I knew about the other 2, but I totally forgot about him. That's right. All right, coming up, the year in review. We'll take a look about that, seeing things that happened here in Louisiana and across the nation that affected Louisiana in sports this year. 2025 already coming to an end. We'll be back after this timeout right here as we're talking sports with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan, and Marty's in the house right after this timeout on Pelican Sports TV.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Make a fun run to Livingston Parish now for a lot of events for the whole family at the Grand Country Junction off I-12 and Exit 19. Saturday, December 18th is the American Heritage Night featuring the Bible Tones from Ellisville, Mississippi. On Saturday, December 20th, it's the Christmas at the Junction featuring Jessica Horton of Columbus, Mississippi. Doors open at 5:30 and the show starts at 7 p.m. for every show. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for children, ages 4 through 12, as children 3 and under get in for free. All shows are backed by Danny Harrell and the Nashville Edition Band. The Grand Country Junction is located in Satsuma off I-12 and Exit 19. For more information, call Greg Sullivan at 985-507-9432. And for more information on events in Livingston Parish, visit livingstontourism.com. livingstontourism.com. Make a fun run to Livingston Parish today.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouger. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouger today.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As 2025 is coming to an end, that's our final show for this year, 2025. We'll be back in 2026. So let's take a little year in review of what's happened in 2025. It started off January the 1st with a terror attack in New Orleans down Bourbon Street when a goofball drove down Bourbon Street on New Year's Day, late New Year's Day night. Georgia and Notre Dame fans were in town for the Sugar Bowl. Now, that game had to be pushed back a day because of that, and Notre Dame ended up winning the Sugar Bowl. It was a playoff game. It was absolutely horrible. It made national news, made world news, and it was just absolutely disgusting. The guy was shot and killed. Guys like that, I'd love to have 5 minutes with him. I guarantee you, 5 minutes with that goofball. But anyway, killed innocent people in New Orleans. It was sad. And that affected, of course, the city, but did not affect the city for the Super Bowl. We'll talk about that coming up. Ohio State won their 3rd national championship since 2000, tying LSU for the second most. Alabama, number 1 at 6. LSU and Ohio State have 3 each. Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans was an absolute success. No power outages, but not only that, New Orleans put on a great show. Just coming after Vegas, I wasn't sure how New Orleans would do, how good of a deal they would do, and they did a great – and the terrorist attack. Nobody knew, but they had – now, Super Bowls are the most watched event as far as not only in the United States, but also in security. They've got every agency there, and especially since the terror attack in New Orleans on that New Year's Day, that everybody was there, no question about that. Secret Service, and the president made an appearance for the first time ever. A sitting president made the game in New Orleans. That will always be something that we'll always be happy about. But with that being said, I thought the parties were unbelievable. I thought with the Vegas, nightclubs, they would have better parties and what have you. But New Orleans put on a great show. There's place to parties all over New Orleans. Shaq did the Mardi Gras, the Blaine Kernan Mardi Gras World. He did the event there, his big Shaq party, and it was beautiful. Gail Benson did her party at City Park. It was absolutely unbelievable how beautiful it was. It was just great. New Orleans and the first Super Bowl parade that happened to the whole city happened there, and it was people. I was there for that day, and people were just going nuts over that. Philadelphia and Kansas City fans were loving it. They want the Super Bowl there every year, they said. It was just absolutely great. I thought New Orleans did a great job. I don't think San Francisco is going to do as good of a job because one thing is the close proximity. New Orleans has anywhere from almost 27,000 hotels in the CBD right there to where you can walk to everything. There was still a lot of traffic. I didn't like that. There still was jammed traffic on the streets, on the CBD. I wish they'd come out better with that and try to say, hey, guys, either walk or have this street available for Uber driving or taxis or there's a lot of shuttles going around. A lot of the black SUVs were going everywhere with police escorts, and a lot of stars were in New Orleans. Seemed like the last time we had the Super Bowl, there wasn't as many stars as I normally would see. But in this game, they had stars everywhere. I'm walking down right there, and one of the big hotels, there's Kevin Costner coming out. So there was a lot of stars for the Super Bowl. Jonathan, I know you live in that area. I know you were proud of the way that New Orleans put on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it was certainly incredible. I actually took the kids down for the NFL experience. That was a show in itself. Obviously, all the celebrities in town, all the football historians descended upon New Orleans, and it truly was the safest I've ever felt in the city in a very long time. They had cops, state troopers, you name it, the National Guard. Everybody was down there, biggest show. Everybody was safe, having a good time, and I truly appreciate that. Superdome obviously was immaculate. Did a really good job on the renovations. Give credit to Miss Gail Benson. The city did a good job. Great host. There was parties all over.
Yeah.
You throw a stick and hit a celebrity dressed up to go to a party. So yeah, I thought the city did a great job. Obviously, it was built for those type of events. All the hotel rooms, the convenience to downtown, the quarter, the lake, the riverfront. It was a show. Obviously, they put the lights on the bridge, which have been cool for Christmas time. They've been lighting them up. So, yeah, the city. They put a bunch of traffic lights on the interstate from the airport downtown.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like the French Quarter and the Superdome that got renovations. They put a lot of money into the whole city and the surrounding areas to make sure that that event and future events went smoothly, and I truly appreciated it.
So you went to the NFL experience. You know where all the money goes now. To Jonathan. How much was that a person?
We got scalp tickets outside, Chris.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't remember. Yeah, it's for the kids, though. It's for the kids.
Yeah, and I saw a lot of people going to that. See, last time at the Super Bowl with the Ravens and the 49ers, I went to the NFL shop with no problem. They didn't charge you for that, but now they charge you.
Yeah.
And I went and bought all kind of things at that NFL shop. I thought that was great. But in this time, I found out how much it was, and I'm like, oh, no way. I think it was like $60, $30 or something like that.
Yeah, and then you couldn't get out without passing by the gift shop. And, with small kids, that's not even an option. And screaming the whole way home.
But that's pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple of years ago, I got a hat, and I had the 49ers and the Ravens with the Super Bowl logo, and it stitched my name in the side right there on the spot.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. I like that a lot. Speaking of that, Saints hired Kellen Moore right after he got finished being the offensive coordinator for the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. He accepts a job in New Orleans as the Saints' new head coach. A lot of people turned down the job according to what people say or didn't want to even think about going, including McCarthy. Don't know if that's true or not, but after Dennis Allen was fired in the middle of the season, Kellen Moore accepts a job in New Orleans as the new head Saints coach. Saints have done that a lot. We talked about that. They've done that a lot in the week of the Super Bowl. When they're hosting, they announce a new coach. The last time they did that, I believe, was Mike Ditka. So they do that a lot. But anyway, that was the deal on that. LSU Lady Tigers lost to Texas in the semifinals of the SEC tournament. And then they turn around and make the final eight, the Elite Eight, and they lost it to UCLA, who would lose in the Final Four the very next weekend. That was kind of shocking. Not that LSU lost. I didn't think they didn't have enough outside shooting, three-pointers. This year's different. Michaela's doing a good job this year. Look out, Williams. I mean, she's going to be a good player. Well, she already is a good player. She's from Shreveport. But I'm telling you, she is smooth. I love her shot. I think LSU has an opportunity. They're undefeated right now. They have an opportunity to go further than the Elite Eight this year. UCLA beat the Southern University Lady Jaguars, who not only won the SWAC regular season tournament title and won for the very first time in SWAC history, the Lady Jags, or lady teams in the SWAC, won an NCAA tournament game. They beat University of California, San Diego, knocked them out. Then the next week they played UCLA and held them pretty good in the first half. And the second half, UCLA showed their experience. And I'm telling you, I think Southern's Lady Jaguar team is better this year than last year. So look out. I think they're better this year than last year, the one game I saw them play. The Southern men won the regular season championship as well, but like they've been doing in the last few years, they lost in the first round of the tournament. That's something they've been doing now for the last few years now. They won a first-round tournament in Baton Rouge when they have the first round at the home sites and then move it to Birmingham, and now it's in Atlanta now. But they haven't won on the road in a tournament in a long time. I think it's like 7 years. It's been a while. So hopefully Coach KJ and the crew will get their team going good now. The LSU men's team finished 14-18 overall, 3-15 in the SEC. Jonathan, you know where the bread's buttered. This, you can easily tell This is not a high-pressure job right here. Softball has to be less, but not by much.
Right.
But I would think this is McMahon's last year to turn this team around. He's starting off to a good start now. But, I mean, the LSU men, when are we ever going to see another NCAA tournament men's team?
Oh, for LSU?
Yeah.
I hate to put this on Coach McMahon, but not anytime soon, I don't think.
I don't think so either. I don't either, man. But we got, obviously, some great taste in our mouth when LSU baseball team wins another national championship, their second in 3 seasons, and 8 in the history of the program. Only trail USC now by 4 more. USC has 12. We have 8. Pretty impressive. It was a magical win. Again, we didn't have the big Paul Skeens and all that, but it was still another great year for LSU baseball, Jonathan.
Yeah, I think back of the pitching duo, Anthony Ianson and Cade Anderson, and how dominant they were the whole season, the 1-2 punch. Obviously, Ianson coming over in the portal, huge get. 1 through 9 contributed. I think about the big home run in extra innings against Tennessee at home that Jared Jones hit.
The Arkansas win.
Oh, yeah, that poor kid. I can't remember his name. I told you I wouldn't forget his name. That poor kid in left field, the ball ricocheted off his shoulder.
Yeah.
What a great job. A total team win. A bunch of good character guys. And a lot of guys coming back. You talk about Stephen Milam, Derek Curriell, Chris Stanfield, Jake Brown. And you added some more arms and some power hitters. So, look, Coach Jay Johnson's got them reloaded to go. Hopefully trying to continue this dynasty run and make it 3 in 4 years.
No question about that. The Zurich Classic of New Orleans had Ben Griffin and Andrew Novak win it when the favorites Lowry and McIlroy made it to the final round but just couldn't pull it off enough to do that. It seemed like McIlroy was distracted, not as good as this year, and same thing with Lowry. But McIlroy was struggling more than Lowry in this one. But the Zurich Classic was big time last year when they had won it, Lowry and McIlroy. This year, though, it doesn't happen. I don't know if they're going to be coming back. If Lowry and McIlroy will come back to New Orleans this year, it'll be interesting. As football camp finally rolls on in the summer, LSU adopts the 1-0 for the Clemson game. Just go 1-0, baby. And they did. LSU started off 4-0, but with the win over Florida, fans got a little ruffled, and so did the media. And questions about that, and Kelly lost it a little bit after that. Then they lost a big game to Texas A&M. They lost to Vanderbilt, but they lost to Texas A&M big time in Tiger Stadium. First time ever in Tiger Stadium that A&M won while they're SEC, in the conference. Kelly is fired that next day and eventually hires Kiffin, but not Scott Woodward. Scott Woodward was pushed out by the governor. And there's no doubt in my mind the governor did that because of politics. Woodward is a big-time Democrat. I didn't know that. I don't care what he is. I just know he was a good athletic director. And they say, and Landry said, we're not going to pay another big contract like that again. What do? They turn around and paid a bigger contract. So what the hell? I wasn't a big fan of that. I thought Woodward has done a great job as athletic director. I really hate that he's gone. Not saying anything bad about Verge Osbury, because Verge sounded good. I've met him a couple of times before. Verge Osbury sounded good at the press conference. I'm not saying he won't do a good job at all. Looks like he is. He got a good, right off the bat, got the most talented coach that was available this year in Lane Kiffin. I'm not saying that he's not going to be any good, but Scott Woodward was a very good athletic director, and I think that was a mistake. They let him go, no question. Southern football starts out 1-6 and ends Terrence Graves' reign. Fred McNair takes over as the interim head coach. I was having dinner with lunch today with Fred McNair, and I talked to him. He's staying on. That's the good news. It's not official yet, but you're hearing it from me. He's staying on unless somebody comes up with a head coaching job somewhere, but everybody's got pretty much their head coach. So he's staying on. I don't know what position he'll be at this time, and I don't know if he knows. He didn't tell me. But anyway, so he's the interim coach, and I asked him how it felt to win the Bayou Classic. He said it was unbelievable. Never been to a Bayou Classic game until last year when he was assistant coach, this year head coach, interim head coach, and he wins it. As Southern wins their 4th straight Bayou Classic in a row, and Marshall Faulk was named as the new head coach of the Southern University Jaguars. No head coaching experience, and it was a one-time running back coach, 1 year, with Colorado Buffaloes and Deion Sanders. Now, he's a smart guy. Everyone says he was a hell of a smart player. So we'll see. We'll see how he does. Hopefully he can do it. Hopefully brings attention to the Southern University Jaguars. Hope we can bring attention to that, NFL attention and what have you, because there needs some stuff over there in that. Tulane had his 4th winning season in a row and makes the college football playoffs and will take on the Ole Miss Rebels coming up. Is it this weekend? This weekend, and that's going to be a big game. Now, they lost to Tulane. Tulane lost to Ole Miss at Ole Miss in Week 4, big time. It was over about halftime. But this time it's a little different. This time Ole Miss is without Lane Kiffin. John Summerall is still there at Tulane. However, is John's attention there or is it in Florida yet? I don't know. But Tulane winning their 4th season in a row and making a bowl game. And, Jonathan, I know you got to be proud of that. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and credit to John Summerall. I mean, really carrying a program that Willie Fritz built and carrying it to the top. And I think Florida's getting a good coach in John Summerall, and I think Tulane thinks that they found their replacement and a guy they believe in Will Hall. Time will tell. Obviously, they have a pipeline of athletes right there in New Orleans. Tulane used to be really tough for academics, but they've kind of found some wiggle room with some athletes that open up some doors for some kids to come play some football, and it's really paid off these last few years. And, you know, if you're an LSU fan, you're looking at the Ole Miss staff. You know, you're going to have the offense coordinator, Charlie Weiss Jr., going to call plays in that bowl game, and the winner of that game gets to take on the Georgia Bulldogs in New Orleans at Sugar Bowl. So, to me personally, I'm going to be pulling for the Ole Miss Rebels in this bowl game. I know I live very close to New Orleans, and I have a lot of family and friends that pull for the Green Wave. But here's my thinking right here, Chris. So say Ole Miss, the Rebels do move on to the Sugar Bowl, and they do fall ultimately to the Georgia Bulldogs. It's only like a 65-minute drive from New Orleans over here to Baton Rouge to join Ole Miss with some of this higher caliber, talented players from the Ole Miss Rebels. I know Ole Miss fans don't want to hear this, but I'm hoping Chambliss, along with Lacey, finds their short trip to Baton Rouge after that Sugar Bowl. That's how I think it's going to play out. Proud of the Green Wave for making it to the CFP, even though a lot of people thought Notre Dame or Texas should have been in, or Vanderbilt. But, you know, they play the schedule they play for a reason. Taylor Lane, you know, you can't fault them for getting into the CFP. So happy for the Green Wave, but I will be pulling for the Rebels come this weekend.
Hope you got good tire insurance.
Yeah,
your
that's
tires
exactly
are gonna be
right.
Slashed.
We'll
slashed.
post-date the airing of this show to start next week, since this will be the last one of the season. I'll just hide this one in the can.
There you go. LSU Lady Tigers breaks the NCAA record with 8 straight games by scoring over 100. Pretty impressive. The last time that was done, Kim Mulkey as a player at Louisiana Tech. How about that? That's pretty impressive. Hadn't been done since then. LSU's getting off to a good start. They got good down play down low. They got good also outside shooting. This team could, I'm not saying they put them in the national title. Texas is going to be tougher, I think, this year than South Carolina. Texas already beaten South Carolina. They're going to play them again. We play Texas twice. We play South Carolina once. It's here in Baton Rouge. Before that, we played Texas, and then towards the end of the season, we played Texas again there in Austin. We played Texas twice this year, but the women look pretty good. We need to win that game at the PMAC. New Orleans will host. It was announced this year that New Orleans will host the 2028 College Football National Championship game. How about that? That's pretty good. That's going to be great. Will LSU make it again? LSU has made every one for a long time. Every time that New Orleans hosts a national championship game, LSU is in it. If Lane Kiffin is not in that 28 thing, he'll be gone before then. The Saints, Superdome, and the State sign an extension till 2035 as Benson tries to get another Super Bowl in 2031, trying to go quickly. With the momentum they got for Super Bowl, I don't think they're going to get 2031, though. I just don't. You got Tennessee coming up with their new stadium. I don't know if Chicago Stadium is going to be done by then. I don't know. But you got a lot of bowl, and then Vegas is going to want another one. But the problem is, and think about this, that New Orleans is going to have a tougher time getting these games because with the seasons being pushed back, that's going to interfere with Mardi Gras. I don't know what the heck New Orleans is going to do with that. That's going to affect Mardi Gras. And I don't know what they can do. But Saints say The reason they're pushing so hard for 2031 is because they may not get another Super Bowl for a long time after that. So we'll see. All right, so once again, coming up, we're going to be talking to other sports going on. We'll talk more about that as we can come back to wrap it up for this year. Coming up right here, Talking Sports with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan in the house, Marty's in the house, back after this time out right here on Pelican Sports TV.
Make a fun run to Livingston Parish now for a lot of events for the whole family at the Grand Country Junction off I-12 and Exit 19. Saturday, December 18th is the American Heritage Night featuring the Bible Tones from Ellisville, Mississippi. On Saturday, December 20th, it's the Christmas at the Junction featuring Jessica Horton of Columbus, Mississippi. Doors open at 5:30 and the show starts at 7 p.m. for every show. Tickets are $15 for adults and $10 for children, ages 4 through 12, as children 3 and under get in for free. All shows are backed by Danny Harrell and the Nashville Edition Band. The Grand Country Junction is located in Satsuma off I-12 and Exit 19. For more information, call Greg Sullivan at 985-507-9432. And for more information on events in Livingston Parish, visit livingstontourism.com. livingstontourism.com. Make a fun run to Livingston Parish today.
We're a nation of hardworking Americans, and businesses will always be the lifeline of this great country. As a business owner, you understand the importance of your reputation. In times of uncertainty, you need a real lawyer who's serious about protecting you and your business. You need a problem solver. You need the law firm of Clayton and Fouger. Tony Clayton is a proven trial lawyer. He'll defend you and your business to the fullest extent of the law. Protect your investment and call the law firm of Clayton and Fouger today.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Final segment of the year for Talking Sports with me, Chris Powers, Jonathan, and Marty. Our Pick'em contests come to an end. I got off to a great start, and then the end I kind of cooled off. Jonathan, you did the opposite, and you got off to a slow start, and at the end you got off to a great start. Last week you went 4-1, I went 3-2. We both finished the season at 39-18, brother.
Hey, go tell Vegas because we need a gig.
Hey, that's a better deal than what's that guy on ESPN that does the picks now? Took the Bears' place. Oh my God, that guy's a losing record, and they still.
Yeah,
are you kidding?
That's one of the reasons I can't even watch ESPN anymore.
Oh, that's when Jimmy the Greek would have a bad thing, Hammer and Hank. He had horrible, and you think I'm going to listen to him? I'm doing the opposite of what he says.
Yeah, make some money betting the opposite.
Oh my God. Patrick Mahomes suffers an ACL. How crazy is this? It's the same exact time that Tom Brady did the ACL, and they lost. They didn't make the playoffs that year. Same exact years of their career, and same kind of in the same spot. Crazy. KC's done for the year anyway. With that loss they had this week, it's over. Is Kelsey going to retire? I think he should. Now, he had a good game last week, but Kelsey's been struggling, no question about that. Jaden Daniels also done for the season with the Commanders with the elbow deal. He's done. They're out of the playoffs. I'm hoping that Jaden Daniels bounces back big time in year 3. Year 2, he was mostly injured. There's no question. But usually defenses figure you out. Look at the guy that did the color analyst for this year, RG3. Had one good year, and then after that was done. And I was kind of shocked. It was his first color game in this game. Jonathan, did you know that?
I'm sorry. I had Marty, the Florida director extraordinaire, talking.
It was his first time as a game analyst for his career.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
So he's from New Orleans. He played his first game in New Orleans as the Redskins, remember, dominated the Saints.
Right.
He ran all over us, and now was his first color analyst as in New Orleans. So he took a picture with his family outside.
Yeah. What's crazy, Chris, is that RG3 did his first color analyst job, and Phillip Rivers started a game at 44.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that nuts? And that's exact next one. Look good in return. Will start next week versus the 49ers. They already announced it. He will be the starter in the 49ers game on Monday Night Football. And the thing about it is, I don't know if you heard this, but you know this was the last year for his insurance.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
And he's got 10 kids, I believe, so that insurance.
And grandkids.
That was a good move. That was a smart move. 5 more years.
So obviously in their family, they have no TVs in the whole house.
Yeah, right.
Or they don't know how to watch it.
I thought it was something in their religion where they don't believe in any kind of prophylactic or anything.
Yeah. Holy moly.
Yeah, wild.
But Phillip Rivers looked good.
Yep.
But now, of course, one snap and you're out of eligibility for the NFL Hall of Fame until another 5 years now.
Right. Yep.
So he's out, and there's a chance he wouldn't have made it this first round. Now, with him doing what he did, I think it's an opportunity.
I agree.
He threw, over 300 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, they only lost by 2 points and had a chance to kick a field goal at the end.
Unbelievable. MRI also showed Michael Parsons suffers an ACL. He's done for the year. And now, when you have an ACL injury, it's not as long as a Achilles tendon injury, but it's a long time. Trust me. Now, things have happened. So I did mine in 1990. I couldn't put weight on my foot for 8 weeks. You couldn't walk 8 weeks on your foot. Now you can, but it takes a long time to come back from an ACL injury. It really does. High school football, boy, big-time championships in 2025. Washita, number 14 seed, upset number 1, Ruston.
Yep.
How about that in Division I non-select?
Yeah, Ruston had some big boys, too. That was a great game, very physical. Playmakers on the outside were the difference, and Ruston had a few more. Washita had a few more than Ruston did. Great game, and that was one of many, many very close competitive games this weekend, Chris.
Yeah, no question. Number 2, Iowa. Not Iowa.
Right.
Spelled like Iowa, but it's Iowa. Wins the Division II bracket. Sterlington, number 2 seed, also wins the Division III bracket. Number 1, Haynesville. They're pretty good. But they barely beat number 2 Mangum, who always usually has a good team too in Division IV. Now in the Division I Select, how about Edna Carr winning it easy again? They've taken over John Curtis, Calvary Baptist, and especially Evangel. They've taken over that spot. Edna Carr is the most dominant football program in the state.
Yeah, 27 in a row. They had 15 D1 signees off that team. Obviously, Big Rich coming to LSU. Bryce Brown, what a dominant force he's built there in the last 10 years at Carr. 40,000 fans to see that game against St. Aug. So kudos to the people in New Orleans for showing up and showing out.
And great for St. Aug for making it for the first time in years.
Yep.
But they were just overpowered by Edna Carr. How about Division II, St. Charles beats Shaw on a crazy event?
Oh, man.
The quarterback goes to kneel the ball. The offensive lineman takes his helmet off and throws it in the air. That's an unsportsmanlike penalty. They go to punt the football. It's blocked. The winning field goal wins the game. How would you like to be that kid?
I feel horrible for his parents, Chris. They're suffering for him. It was tough to go back to school that Monday, I guarantee. But kudos to that kid, St. Charles Catholic. Missed the extra point, but then bang a 44-yarder to win the state championship.
Isn't that
awesome.
Unbelievable? Number 3, Dunham beats Calvary Baptist, and Calvary Baptist, is a branch off of Evangel, but Dunham wins it. Dunham's been a dominant program too.
Yeah, dominant. Dunham has a great quarterback, Elijah Haven, 6'5", sophomore, every bit of as talented as you could ever want at the position.
Yep.
He's gonna have offers from every college in the country.
Riverside beats Ascension Catholic, and just coming in, former LSU and Ponchatoula quarterback T.J. Finley going to transfer again. Have a great one and Happy New Year.